What is a veteran? By definition, a veteran is someone who has served in the active military, naval, or air service of the United States. But a veteran is so much more than those words. To most Americans, a veteran is family. A veteran is dad or mom, grandpa or great-grandpa, aunt or uncle, brother or sister. For most, a veteran is someone they know deeply or remember dearly, someone they love, admire, and respect. This is definitely the case at Antwerp Local School. For many of our students, Veterans Day is personal. It's not just a day to pay tribute to people they don't know, it's a day to honor people close to their hearts and central in their lives.
My uncle served in Iraq.
My grandpa served in the Vietnam War.
My grandpa served in the Air Force.
My dad served as a combat medic in Afghanistan and Iraq.
My brother served in the U.S. Army.
My grandpa served overseas and in Alaska.
My grandpa served in World War II.
My dad served in the Indiana Army.
My grandpa served in the Air Force.
My dad was in the U.S. Air Force and my brother is currently serving in the U.S. Air Force.
My uncle served in the Marines.
My dad served in the Air Force.
My uncle served in the Marines.
My dad, he served in Panama in the First Persian Gulf War.
My dad served in the Marines.
My dad served in the Army.
My uncle served in the Navy.
My grandpa was in the Army.
My dad served in the military. My grandpa served in the Navy.
My dad served in the Marines.
My grandfather served in the Korean War.
The veteran in my life is my brother, Weston Flippo. He was in the U.S. Army. He was in the battalion, a recon platoon, and the sniper section. He was actively served for 4 years. He was deployed in 2020 and 2021 to Kabul Embassy, Bagram, and the H-Kaya Air Force Base in Afghanistan. The sacrifices my brother had to make was just spending time away from his youth and away from his family and friends. It has just affected my family of the emotional aspect of it, of the unknown of just the not knowing if he's okay or where he's at the time, because he'd go on missions for weeks on out and he wouldn't have any communication with us and wouldn't be able to tell us where he was. I just want to say thank you for your service and the unselfishly and willingly way that you just gave up some of your life to go and serve our country for us.
Well, the veteran in my life, he is my dad. He was in the 82nd Airborne Division. He was a sergeant in Panama and the First Persian Gulf War. During a parachuting jump, he broke his legs and his shoulders, and he never fully recovered. He can't really run, or it hurts him to walk for too long, it hurts him to sit for too long. It was kind of just the thought, because recently, after 9/11, he tried to re-enlist, and if he did, he would end up in the Second Persian Gulf War, which he was most likely going to end up in Fallujah, which was very deadly, and I've heard of some people who've never fully recovered from that. Thank you, Dad, for your service, and no, you cannot skydive again.
The veteran in my life is my dad. He served quite a few years in the military before I was born, and most of the time when he was serving, he was actually not doing all the fighting, but for example, he was fixing up tanks and whatnot overseas, and was also doing tasks like supervising. Because he was in the military before I was born, it's kind of now a cool thing to say, oh yeah, my dad was overseas and built tanks. The hardest part is probably wanting to know more about it. I would like to thank the veteran in my life by showing him how much I appreciate him and all the work he's served for our country.
The veteran in my life was my dad, and he served in the Army for 6 years, and he was a technology information specialist. The sacrifice he made was just being away from family. I appreciate him for serving for our country.
The veteran in my life was my uncle, and it made him a stronger person by serving in the Marines. My uncle sacrificed missing time with friends and family. It affected me and my family because we haven't got to see him in a really long time. The hardest part was watching him leave. Thank you for serving for the country.
The veteran in my life is my Uncle Chris. He was in the Marines. One sacrifice that my uncle had to make was he had to spend time away from his family and could not see us for months. One thing I'd have to say to my uncle is thank you for serving our country and thank you for doing your part in the military.
The veteran in my life is Terry Colley, or known as my grandpa. The sacrifices my grandpa had to make was missing out on family events. I would like to tell him thank you for going out to serve our country and having to sacrifice missing out on family events.
The veteran in my life is my dad. He was in the Air Force for 4 years. The sacrifices my dad had to make was that he had to leave his family when he was only 16. I would like to thank my dad for sacrificing his life to save others.
His name was Earl Coleman. He was my grandfather. He was drafted around when the Korean War started. He was deployed to Saint-Nazaire, France, where the Germans had their largest U-boat operation in the King's Marine. During World War II, he was stationed there working on shipping docks, and he helped post-war cleanup in France. The sacrifice he truly made was a time when everyone else had to start their life right away, but his life was put on hold. It affected my immediate family, brothers, sisters, and mother. He had to make sacrifices that not many people had to make during that time.
The veteran in my life is my grandpa, Thomas Mundy. He was in the Navy, U.S. Armed Forces. He was in the Navy after he turned 18 for about 2 years. He was deployed on the Franklin D. Roosevelt B-42 ship. He was on the ship primarily from September 68 to September 69, and it served throughout the Mediterranean Sea while he was aboard it. My grandpa, he filled the fighter jets with their ammunition. He was honorably discharged in 1970 due to injury. Some sacrifices I think he's made for our family is really just sacrificing his early adulthood to go and serve our country. If I had one thing I could say to him, I would tell him that I appreciate him so much for serving our country and for serving for our family, really, and that I love him a lot.
The veteran in our life is our Uncle Doug. He served in the Navy. 5 years active duty, 3 years reserve duty. The sacrifice on deployment, he missed Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, Valentine's Day, Easter with his family. He started his basic training in Florida. His squadron was called the VP-44 Golden Pelicans, and he was stationed in Brunswick, Maine. He was deployed in Iceland for 6 months. His reserve duty was in Illinois.
It was hard on deployment, missing holidays. He remembers he had to fly out very early on Christmas morning and felt bad for his crewmen who were not there with their wives and children.
Thank you for serving in the United States, in the Navy, and keeping our country safe.
Thank you for keeping our country safe and sacrificing time with the family to serve with the Navy to keep the world safe.
My dad is the veteran in my life. He serves for the Army National Guard. He's missed our birthdays, events, and sports. I have a lot of siblings, and it's just me and my stepmom to take care of 3 little boys when he's not here, so it's hard to take care of them when he's not there, and he is always gone for everything. Thank you for serving our country.
The veteran in my life is my dad, and he served for 3 years in the Army and for 18 years in the Air Force. My dad has had to sacrifice leaving his family and leaving us home and being deployed. It's affected my family just because having to leave him for a deployment is really hard, and not having him around growing up was really hard. The hardest part has definitely been going to the airport and watching him leave for deployments and then not knowing when he's going to come back. But other than that, there's been a lot of memories, so I think that's a positive. I would like to thank my dad and other veterans for serving our country and giving us the freedoms that we have.
The veteran in my life is my grandpa Brett, and he served in the Navy. He was away from all my family for 4 years. It affected my mom's life and her siblings' life because it was their dad and he was alone for a while. Thank you for serving in our country.
The veterans in my life are my father and my brother. My dad served 3 years in the Air Force, and my brother is currently in active duty. My dad was deployed in Germany, and my brother will be deployed in a few months to Idaho. My dad had to leave his family and had to be apart from watching his kids grow up, and my brother had to leave his girlfriend and my family to go pursue his dreams. My brother is currently in the Air Force, and he's my only sibling, so it was hard seeing him leave and being the only one in my house The hardest part about him leaving was the fact I had to learn how not to rely on him anymore because I couldn't talk to him, and I just had to learn how to live life without him. I'd like to say to them, thank you for sacrificing their lives so I can have my own freedoms and my own privileges.
The veteran in my life, my great-grandpa Bob. He was in the Army for 4 years. He was in the New Georgia Islands in the South Pacific during World War II. The sacrifice he had to make was he had to leave his family. He got Purple Heart. I'm just glad he served for our freedom. Thank you for serving and keeping our freedom for us.
The veteran is my uncle, and he was in the Army National Guard, and he went on one tour, and he went to Iraq in 2002. The hardest part was just the unknown of not knowing when he comes back and not being able to talk to him. Thank you for having the courage for standing up on what you believe in.
The veteran in my life was my grandpa, Kurt Wardeman. He sailed overseas and he was stationed in Alaska. He had to leave his friends and family and risk his life. I would like to tell my grandpa thank you, and I'm proud of what you did for our country.
My veteran in my life is my papa, my dad's dad. He was in the Army for 6 years. He had to stay away from his family a lot, and we had to move a lot. I would like to say thank you to my papa.
My veteran is my papa. He was in the Air Force for 20 years. He was in Germany, Italy, England, Delaware, Michigan, Ohio, Indiana, Alabama, Texas, and Missouri. He has made a lot of sacrifices to be in the military, but 3 years he had lived by himself so we could be safe in the United States. His military life has made us grateful for all of the times we can all be together, and has good stories to tell us about all the places he's been and hopes to get to take us someday. He received a military-related injury which keeps him from doing many of the things he would like to do today. I would like to say thank you so much for saving all of our lives.
My veteran is my dad, and he served in the Marines for 3 years. It affected our family because we didn't get to see him as much. I'm thankful for him and that I love him.
The veteran in my life is my dad, and he served in the Marine Corps in the military for 12 years, and he was deployed in Afghanistan. He lost friends that were battling in the military. I was born on a military base in an Army hospital in Virginia. I would like to say thank you for being brave and willing to make sacrifices for our country.
From Antwerp Local School to the veterans in our lives, to all who have served.
Thank you.
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 Thank you.